It is for building the future that this year, on the occasion of the World Day Cities for Life on November the 30th, more than 1,600 cities around the world will light up to say no to the death penalty. Why should you be present? Because each of us may rebel against the globalization of the indifference. And together we can positively influence policies on a global scale. How? Choose a place representative of your neighborhood or your town and ask the city council, the mayor, or the other competent authorities that on the occasion of November the 30th or on a near date, it can be lit in a special way as a living logo of the campaign. Organize conferences, concerts, events and fundraising in support of Cities for Life. Mobilize the media. Go on the Cities for Life communication channels. Watch the video of the campaign and follow all of the events in the calendar. Contact the Sant'Egidio community for any information. Cities for Life. Change the world, starting from your hometown.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first Asia-Pacific Dialogue on Human Rights and Respect for the Dignity of Life, with the theme, No Justice Without Life. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to encourage our guests to please occupy the seats near the center and in front of the stage area. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to encourage our guests to please occupy the seats near the center, right in front of the stage area. Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start with this morning's program, may we encourage everyone to please occupy the seats nearest the stage area. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, may we encourage our guests to please occupy the seats nearest the stage area. Thank you.
For a world without the death penalty, Cities for Life. For years, by our commitment and initiatives, we have never been tiring of communicating, networking, creating a culture in order to spread our message. No justice without life. For years we have been growing, and more cities and people around the world have joined us. And the good news has not had to wait. We continue to work because as many as we will be, it will get nearer more and more, the moment on which it will be possible to say, we have changed the world. It is for building the future that this year, on the occasion of the World Day, Cities for Life, on November the 30th, more than 1,600 cities around the world will light up to say, no to the death penalty. Why should you be present? Because each of us may rebel against the globalization of the indifference. And together we can positively influence policies on a global scale. How? Choose a place representative of your neighborhood or your town and ask the city council, the mayor, or the other competent authorities that on the occasion of November the 30th, or on a near date, it can be lit in a special way, as a living logo of the campaign. Organize conferences, concerts, events and fundraising in support of Cities for Life. Mobilize the media. Go on the Cities for Life communication channels. Watch the video of the campaign and follow all of the events in the calendar. Contact the Sant'Egidio community for any information. Cities for Life. Change the world, starting from your hometown. For a world without the death penalty, Cities for Life. For years, by our commitment and initiatives, we have never been tiring of communicating, not had to wait. We continue to work because as many as we will be, it will get nearer more and more, the moment on which it will be possible to say, we have changed the world. It is for building the future that this year, on the occasion of the World Day, Cities for Life, on November the 30th, more than 1,600 cities around the world will light up to say no to the death penalty. Why should you be present? Because each of us may rebel against the globalization of the indifference. And together we can positively influence policies on a global scale. How? Choose a place representative of your neighborhood or your town and ask the city council, the mayor, or the other competent authorities that on the occasion of November the 30th, or on a near date, it can be lit in a special way, as a living logo of the campaign. Organize conferences, concerts, events and fundraising in support of Cities for Life. Mobilize the media. Go on the Cities for Life communication channels. watch the video of the campaign, and follow all of the events in the calendar. Contact the Sant'Egidio community for any information. Cities for Life. Change the world, starting from your hometown.
Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first Asia-Pacific Dialogue on Human Rights and Respect for the Dignity. Foyer to please enter the main hall as this morning's program begins in just a short while. Once again, we would like to invite all our guests outside at the foyer to please enter the main hall as this morning's program begins in just a short while. Thank you. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. May request everyone to please settle down as this morning's program begins in just a short while. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we request everyone to please settle down as this morning's program begins in just a short while. Also, we would like to remind everyone to switch their mobile phones and other electronic devices to silent mode for the duration of this morning's program. Thank you. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. May we invite all our guests still outside of the foyer area to please enter the main hall and take their seats as this morning's program begins shortly. Once again, we would like to invite all our guests who are still outside of the foyer area to please enter the main hall and take their seats as this morning's program begin shortly. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to take any photos of our event today, you may upload your photos on the net and, of course, use the hashtag Asia for Life as showed on screen. Thank you. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the first Asia Pacific Dialogue on Human Rights and Respect for the Dignity of Life with the theme, No Justice Without Life. And now let's all welcome your host for today. We have Deputy Administrator Lorna Yumol, together with the Executive Assistant of Undersecretary Francisco Baraan III of the DOJ, Reselyn L. Wad.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second session of the Asia-Pacific Dialogue on Human Rights and Respect for the Dignity of Life, with the theme, No Justice Without Life. Now, may we call on Ms. Jenny Babon, one of the responsibles in the community of Sant'Egidio in Manila for the Cities for Life.
So good morning, my dear students and friends. I hope you're all feeling well for this morning. And I'm very happy and glad to see every one of you, especially for our dear students who are joining us for this second session of our meeting for the International Conference of No Justice Without Life. By the way, I'm Jenny Babon, one of the representatives and responsible of the community of Sant'Egidio here in Manila. So don't you know that we have the community here? Oh, this is the first time. So actually, the community is spread in more than 73 countries worldwide, and we are lucky that we have here in the Philippines. So the work of the community, just to give you a very brief description, we have the work for prayer, poor, and peace. So the prayer is one of the heart of life of community. And so we do pray in Rome every day in Santa Maria Basilica. And here in Manila, we have the prayer in Esa Shrine every Monday at 7 o'clock, after the 7 o'clock evening liturgy. So we invite every one of you to join us. And then the work of the community for the poor as the work of the community and its life. So we have our friendship with the elderly, for the children of School of Peace. And we have the movement of Youth for Peace, wherein we invite and encourage young students like you, the young people, to join us and give life and friendship for the poor, especially for the elderly, for our campaign of Vibagli and Shani, which we call Long Live the Elderly, because really they are the treasure of our lives. And lastly, we have our work for peace and justice. So what you are attending this morning is one of the work and campaign of the community for peace. This is the No Justice Without Life, our campaign for the abolition of death penalty. So we are very fortunate to hear later on Mr. Leonardo Trangono of the Committee of Sant'Egidio to give us more detailed information about the campaign of community about the abolition of death penalty and the work of community for the Cities for Life. So I hope you enjoy this morning, and then later on we move for a youth session this afternoon, and we will close our meeting in the Green Field in Mandaluyong for this event. So thank you and good morning.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. I would just like to acknowledge the following who are present this morning, and we thank you so much for your presence. We have the BJMP. Please clap your hands if you're here. Next, we have the Rizal Technological University. Wow, that's a lot. Thank you for being with us. The Don Bosco Technological College. Next, we have the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. City of Mandaluyong Collegiate Scholars Association. Division of City Schools of Mandaluyong. We also have the Bureau of Corrections, the religious groups, Parole and Probation Administration, and also all our other government and non-government organizations. Good morning to you all and welcome. Our next speaker is the International Relations for the community of Sant'Egidio, who will talk to us about his global campaign for the Cities for Life. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to introduce to you Mr. Leonardo Trangono.
Thank you. Illustrious guests, civil authorities, governors, their students, and above all, dear friends. Following yesterday's opening session, we now present the global campaign Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty. At the root of the Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty, there is the worldwide thirst for common humanity. Cities are today participating in a great fight against the death penalty. Why? Why the cities? Why do we point the cities as a garden of life? For each of us, the city represents our house, our identity, the neighborhood, where we were born or grown up. The city has been the place of my opportunities, the place of my meetings, where I meet many people. It is the place where I start a family, where I grow up my children, and where I see the future of my children. However, the city is also a place of dismay, of violence, for the many homeless poor who do not have a future. The cities has also condemned those who hoped for a job and never found it, and now live on the street. The cities have often witnessed wreckage, which took place not on the sea but along the streets, among waves of indifference for the many refugees and immigrants who fled war with hope in their hearts. The cities hide the lives of many who sacrificed their lives for the well-being of their children and are now alone and abandoned. How do we define our cities today? Is it just some of many things? I would say that the cities are a great opportunity. The community of Sant'Egidio believes that the cities can be a great opportunity. The community of Sant'Egidio is a community of lay Christian believers who work for the poor and with the poor to build a more human environment in many cities all over the world, so that they can become guardians of life, cities for life. Why then should the cities oppose the death penalty? What do they have to do with the death penalty? Many people are condemned by their illness, their poverty, when they do see any future in their life, they are somehow sentenced to death. The community of Sant'Egidio wants to call back the cities to the value of life, to the importance of giving opportunities to every man and every woman, to the importance of building a more human environment for everybody. That is why the cities can be fundamental in this fight against the death penalty. It's because the cities can give an important contribution to life. The world today is becoming increasingly urban. Urbanization is increasing in Asia. Tokyo has more than 13 million inhabitants. Seoul nearly 10 million. Metro Manila more than 10 million. Hong Kong more than 7. The population of the great cities is increasing, while the countryside sees its population drift away. However, these data are often underestimated because they don't take into account the number of the poor, the number of the children. The dominant culture of waste, as Pope Francis says, does not count the poor. This same culture discriminates against the poor when the death penalty is applied. The movement of Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty, can today make the difference. Pope John Paul II was the man who played a fundamental role in the process of abolition of the death penalty worldwide, and he personally intervened several times for saving the life of prisoners who were about to be executed as well. In January 1999 in St. Louis, Missouri, Pope John Paul II renewed the appeal for end of the death penalty, as the dignity of human life must never be taken away, even in the case of someone who has done great evil. The Pope suggested that a society can protect itself without ending a human life, and that the use of the death penalty ought to be abandoned not only for what it does to those who are executed, but for what it does to do all of society. The words of Pope John Paul II encouraged the community of Sant'Egidio to give a prominence to major steps in the fight against the death penalty, from legal abortion to commutation of death sentence. On each occasion, the community asked the City Council of Rome to lit up the Colosseum, the monument which is the symbol of a city and which offers international visibility to abolitionist movement. The Colosseum is an ancient Roman monument which in the past was the place where many early Christians were executed and martyrized. It has now become a symbol of life. The community of Sant'Egidio then decided to make this tradition permanent and to summon other cities and countries to live in the same spirit some day. The International Day of Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty, takes place every year on November 30. The date was chosen on purpose. On November 30, 1786, the Grand Duchy of Tuscany abolished the capital punishment. It was the first state which legally canceled the death penalty from its codes. This move was prompted by new views on punishment and deterrence. Long-term imprisonment was going to be considered a more powerful deterrent than capital punishment. The International Day, Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty, was thus instituted in 2000. Cities from all over the world can participate in the event with mobilization, marches, sit-in, performance, public assemblies, in schools and in universities, as well as official statements of support from city and citizens' council representatives. All cities taking part in the initiative make their major monuments available as living logos, which speak with special illumination, thus becoming symbol of commitments and dialogue with the population in favor of war without the death penalty, without violence. Since November 30, 2000, each year, more than 1,600 cities, including many capital cities in more than 85 different countries, have celebrated the International Days of Cities for Life. The event is centered on the simultaneous enlightenment of the Colosseum and of other symbol monuments all over the world. The Colosseum in Rome, lit up in special colors, has become a universal symbol of the abolitionist struggle. Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty, is a big worldwide mobilization in favor of a higher and more civil form of justice, capable of repudiating once and for all capital punishment. It involves not only the municipal authorities, but also a humanitarian group, activists, on a city-to-city basis. The website puts the Cities for Life on the internet, publishing information about initiatives that are organized for the International Day, Cities for Life, Cities Against Death Penalty, as well as being during the course of the year. Thus, the campaign involves local administration on a permanent basis. The Cities for Life campaign spread the appeal for a universal moratorium, endorsed by more than 5 million people in 153 countries and present to the United Nations General Secretary on the eve of the historic vote in the UN General Assembly 2007. The number of countries which vote in favor of the moratorium has constantly increased in time. It reached 110 countries in 2012. We hope to see an even large number at the next vote in December 2014. We want to work alongside with many others all over the world to accelerate this international trend so that capital punishment like slavery and torture soon becomes a past memory. On this path, we find encouragement in the recent word of Pope Francis. It is impossible to imagine that the state today cannot make use of another means than capital punishment to defend people's lives from an unjust aggressor. All Christians and people of goodwill are thus called today to struggle not only for abolition of the death penalty, whether it be legal or illegal, and in all its forms, but also to improve prison conditions, out of respect for the human dignity of persons deprived of their liberty. We have a dream: no justice without life, no more death penalty. Join us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Leo Trangono. We would like to acknowledge also the presence of our Muslim brothers and sisters who are joining us today. Our next speaker is a man of talent and dynamism. And aside from being a political leader, he is also an active person in sports and singing. Maybe we can ask him to sing later on. He has been a public servant for quite a time, as he became the congressman in the Lone District of Bacolod before he was elected as the current mayor of Bacolod City. Ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Monico Puentebella.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Sa mga Bisaya, mayong aga. Sa mga Cebuano, speaking region, mayong buntag.